Khazkat Abbatim, Daf Samach, sponsored the Refuah Shalema for Esther Bas Yafa. The Gemara brings a machlokas concerning one who opens a window to a jointly owned courtyard. Rabbi Yossi held his chazaka is immediate, since the other residents did not protest. 3 years is necessary only for residents unavailable to protest. Rabbi Chia held 3 years were necessary. However, if after 3 years a resident built a wall in front of his window without him protesting, the chazaka is immediate. No one tolerates this. The Gemara reconciles two rulings in the Mishnah. One who purchases a house cannot build its door facing a jointly owned courtyard, diminishing their residents' privacy by way of additional pedestrian traffic. However, the last ruling permits enlarging one's home to rent as long as he does not open the extension to the courtyard. Apparently, additional pedestrian traffic is acceptable. The Gemara answers he did not enlarge the overall area. He divided the existing area to accommodate more people. The residents cannot prevent more people living in his house. Now we move on to a new Mishnah. One cannot build a door or window opposite those of another resident. Bilam praised Klal Yisrael for respecting each other's privacy. Despite living in such close proximity, no one's tent faced another. However, where the door is open to the public domain, it is permitted. One is not permitted to enlarge a door. The Gemara brings a dispute concerning one who enlarged a 2-amma doorway to 4 amos. The Gemara explained earlier that one acquires an area of 4 amos in front of the full width of his doorway. By increasing its width, he increases his area in the courtyard. However, from 2 to 4, the area does not increase. Therefore, Rami Bar Chama permits enlarging from 2 to 4. Rava disagrees. Although enlarging this amount does not add to his area, it diminishes his neighbor's privacy. One cannot divide one door into 2. Rami Bar Chama applies this ruling to a door 4 amos wide, divided into 2 doors of 2 amos. It increases his area in the courtyard to 8 by 4, opposed to one door 4 amos that entitles him to an area of 4 by 4. However, dividing one door 8 amos wide to 2 of 4 is of no consequence. Rava disagrees. The presence of a second door diminishes the privacy of the other residents. Now we move on to a new Mishnah. The Mishnah brings a machlokas concerning digging a cavity under a public domain. The Rabbanan prohibit this even with an inadequate cover. The digger may not be aware of its eventual rotting to repair it. Rabbi Eliezer permits it if a wagon laden with stones can pass over. He is not concerned with future deterioration. One is not permitted to extend ledges or balconies into the public domain. He may recess his house within his property without concern pedestrians will injure themselves using the recessed area. Rav Ami distinguished a mavui, an alleyway, from a public domain, where residents can allow one to extend ledges or balconies. The Gemara discusses a case where he recessed his house, not immediately extending ledges or balconies. Rabbi Yaakov states, all opinions agree he can extend later. However, Rabbi Yochanan holds he cannot return his walls to the boundary of his property based on the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Private property that the public established a right-of-way cannot be disrupted. Reish Lakish permits it. Rabbi Yehuda applied his ruling only where obstructing their right-of-way would leave them no way to pass. Tree branches extending into a public domain must be trimmed to a height above a camel and his rider. One who purchases a house with protruding ledges or balconies may assume the owner recessed his walls to extend them. Even if they fell, he may rebuild them, unlike a house plastered with lime, ornamented or painted because of building restrictions commemorating the destruction of the temple. There is a dispute how to diminish the bright color of lime used to plaster walls. Tanakama of Abraisa holds even adding sand. Rabbi Yehuda holds only straw. Sand strengthens the plaster. Based on the principle of Ein Gozim Gezerah, Elim Kain Atzibur Yochol Mabo. The Chachamim did not impose decrees unless the majority of the public is able to uphold them. Rabbi Yeshua explained what decrees were instituted Zeicha L'Churban. Number one who plasters his house leaves an area of 4x4 amos opposite the door. Number two, one item on a menu should be left out, such as fried fish hash. Number three, a woman should deprive herself of an adornment, such as trimming hair, from her temples. Number four, ashes on a bridegroom's head. The Gemara demonstrates another principle, mutav shiu shogim v'altiyu mezidin. When the Romans instituted decrees against circumcision, the Rabbanan did not institute laws prohibiting marriage, even though fathers could not circumcise their children. They would marry anyway. If you're enjoying Daf and 5, please click on the link below, subscribe, and become a sponsor. Thank you.